got baby face, me big boss man. Me like America, me got good plan. Mexico water, make Gulf US away. Me make Zelensky say thanks to my face. Me got baby face, me got big chair. Trump bad, Trump good, me no care. Me write big book, kill billies and stuff. Now me import and wear tie up tough. Me go Yale school, me learn big word. Now me forget everything me heard. Silicon people give me job, me take. Now me like Trump, me make no mistake. Yo, it's JD Advance. Me fight walk folk, me say never die. Me protect kids, me born liberal. Him, them, there. America simple, only two gender. Me face, me big boss man. Me like America, me got good plan. Mexico water, make Gulf US of A. Me make Zelensky say thanks to my face. Too many gender for my agenda. Went on a bender, execo defender. Might take Panama just like na. Might take Gaza, pop then a plaza. Vibes, with this one majesty.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome into Cobra Cast 199. I am your host, Jeremy Prime, Mage IDOT of Unit 199. Happy to see all of you here on a Monday. And I have always said self-awareness is the most powerful tool one can have on the internet. And Jessica made me proud because you guys were telling her to start the stream and she says, what the F? I cannot start the stream. I don't run everything. I'm just a stupid woman. We love self-awareness. Jessica calling it like it is. There you have it. What's up, Lady Eric D? Can Man, Eric, all of you. And maybe Ladybug in the future, we'll see. But all the mods, hail. Good to see all of you here. Drunken Spidey says, show me the mullet, brother. It's like been a month and a half. I cut all my hair off. It's gone. I got rid of that shit. And I got complimented a lot from the people in real life. They were like, thank goodness you cut that shit off your head, because it was looking bad. So yeah, no more. It's all gone. Andrew Sierra says, press the go live button tax. That's a good tax to have around here. Gerald Armstrong says, not a fan of Trump cooperating with Walz now. Everyone on Twitter is saying Trump caved and is bending the knee. So we're going to talk about that. And listen, I can only call it like it is. Based on the information we have at this moment in time, it does not look good for Trump from that perspective. However, as somebody that's been paying attention to Trump for a long time, more often than not, things are not what they seem. But I do understand how it does look bad. But I would bet good money that Trump is playing chess or playing checkers while these other people are playing chess. Good God, can I talk? Playing chess while these other idiots are playing checkers. That's what my guess would be. Because right now, he's already tried to work with them, and they won't work with him. So I think he's trying to play a different game with them. With that said, the reaction is going to be all over the place, and I've already seen it. I've already seen the libertarians, the DeSantis crowd, basically saying Trump has cucked, and it's because Israel made the call and all of that. I'm seeing it all over Twitter, so I get it. It on the surface, it doesn't look great. It really doesn't, but we'll see. We're going to talk about it, though. Swig of water for the working man. Dave Smith crying yet? Probably. I mean, because look, I don't want him backing us out of Minnesota. And again, so right now, there's reports. We might as well just go ahead and get into it. After we get nubbin for a proper 199 to start the fucking show out. Swig of water for the working man. I'll drink to that. I don't know if it's Nubin or Nubbin, but I've been saying Nubbin, and he keeps sending super chats, so I'm going to assume that I'm correct. I'm going to assume. But thank you. Proper 199. And you know what? We never got Luna for those 50 gifties. Well, Nubbin's going to get back-to-back celebrations then, because we have Sydney Sweeney here to celebrate the proper 199. Okay? We have Sydney Sweeney here. And of course, how do you donate $600? I'm sure you can figure it out. But since we didn't get the 50 gifted last time around, let's go ahead and celebrate it this time around. Anna Paulina Luna. We love MAGA swimsuits around here. That's a great American swimsuit right there. Makes me happy. Very good. Oh, shit, I left it on repeat. Well, I guess we'll have to watch it again. I didn't mean to leave it on repeat, but I guess we will do it one more time just for good measure, okay? Just for good measure. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the proper 199. Nubbin, I appreciate it. Vault 199 Gaming says Tim's last two videos today were discussing Cobra Cast better. Well, that's what I like to hear. Managed democracy. Holy crap. He just dropped up 50 gifted memberships. I can't highlight it because it's not showing up on my feed, but 50 gifted memberships. Holy crap. Play it the entire time or I'm boycotting, says Cornelius. Dude, listen. I understand. All right. Like, run it back. Okay. Run it back. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You don't have to tell me twice. All right. You don't have to tell me twice. Now, while you're enjoying the wonderful images on the screen, we do have a lot going on within Minnesota, and there's a lot to unpack and trying to figure out exactly what Trump's play is here. And I don't have the answer to that. And to be fair, most people don't have the answer to that, but everybody is going to be speculating about what Trump's angle is here. Thank you for the 50 gifted memberships. Appreciate that. Also, real quick, I can relate to this. This is completely off topic, but I can relate to this. Me finally deciding after 6 months to open Bro's 99 plus reels he sent me and their low-key peak. And I kind of feel like this is a lot of my friends that just spam me reels and memes. And it kind of gets to the point where I just don't look at them. And I'm like, finally, I open it up. I'm like, dude, these are amazing. Like, these are amazing. So, of course, my favorite movie, Interstellar, right there. But yeah, I can relate big time. I think most of you can relate as well to that one. Okay, so here's the news right here, and this is coming from Nick Sortor, who says right here, there is no longer a commander at large of the U.S. Border Patrol. The position has been eliminated. This is ridiculous. Okay, you have Tim Pool says left celebrating Trump's surrender. Trump backing down, take a bow, Minnesota. President Trump says Governor Tim Walz called me with the request to work together with respect to Minnesota. It was a very good call, and we actually seemed to be on a similar wavelength. I told Governor Walz that I would have Tom Homan call him and that and that what we are looking for are any and all criminals that they have in their possession. The governor very respectfully understood that, and I will be speaking to him in the near future. He was happy that Tom Homan was going to be in Minnesota, and so am I. We have such tremendous success in Washington, Memphis, Tennessee, New Orleans, Louisiana, and virtually every other place that we have touched. And even in Minnesota, crime is way down, but both Governor Walz and I want to make it better. President Donald J. Trump. Now, we get to this news right here. Here we go.
All right, we go back to the chaos in Minneapolis and to a Fox News alert. Multiple sources telling Fox News' Bill Malugin, Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino, and some, not all, Border Patrol agents are leaving Minneapolis as soon as tomorrow. More on that as we get it. But in the meantime, a big talking point on the left has been that all of this has never been about immigration.
Well, that's 100% bullshit. But we will get back to this story right here, which is kind of the prominent story at the moment. Now, Tom Homan is currently en route. But I don't know what to make of this, but on the surface, it does not look good, okay? It does not look good. Greg Bovino has been removed as Border Patrol's commander at large and resigned to his old post. So he's expected to retire soon. I don't like this. But I think that there's probably more to this, but I cannot pretend that on the surface this looks good. This looks very fucking bad. Very bad from what information we currently have. And it's just a moving situation. So Tom Homan, check sources. Nick Sortor is the source. It's him. He's the source. And he's on the ground there. His last tweet was that one right there, was this one right here. So he's the source. Now, it hasn't been confirmed by the administration or anything like that, but he is the source. I think Nick is a very good source. So look what Eric posted. Hang on. Let's see here. Now, if you're talking about from earlier with Caroline Levitt, I think I know what you're talking about. And so that is going to counter a lot of these reports, which this was before, okay? This was before this announcement. This was earlier today, which doesn't seem to line up, in my opinion, with the reports that we're getting. Because Caroline Levitt said it point blank that he's going to continue his job. Let me see if I can track this one down. It was in my bookmarks. None of you even knew who Bovino was 2 weeks ago. That's somebody in the chat said that. Where is this one at? Here we go, right here. So this was 5 hours ago. Caroline Levitt just confirmed that Commander Greg Bovino will continue storming across the country with border agents in rounding up illegals while Tom Homan becomes the point man in Minnesota. This is directly from the administration, okay? So let's hear this.
Mr. Bovino is a wonderful man, and he's a great professional. He is going to very much continue to lead Customs and Border Patrol throughout and across the country. Mr. Homan will be the main point of contact on the ground in Minneapolis.
And to follow up.
So that was directly from the White House. But now we have this from Nick Sortor, who's on the ground in Minnesota. Now, until we hear from the administration, I'm obviously going to take the administration's word for it over any reporter out there, regardless if they're a supporter of Trump or whatever. I'm going to take his word for it. So let me see. Okay. Jeremy Eric posted it and said he's not being relieved. I'm looking for that. Okay, right here. Here we go. This is what you're talking about. Breaking. Border Commander Greg Bovino has not been relieved of his duties, DHS says. So he has not been relieved, according to Department of Homeland Security. As Press Secretary Leavitt stated from the White House podium, Bovino is a key part of the president's team and a great American. Good, he must be here to stay. So there you have it right there. Okay? There you have it. Now, there might be more to this. I want to know where Nick Sortor got his information, because he claims, has he followed up at all? No, he has not said anything. Well, let me go to his replies. Okay, here we go. Right here. Chief Greg Bovino has not, this is her responding to his tweet. Oh, shit. All right. This is her responding to his tweet. Greg Bovino has not been relieved of his duties. As press secretary stated at the White House podium, he is a key part of the president's team and a great American. Whoa. Can we be a little clearer here? Greg Bovino is still the commander at large at the Border Patrol. He has not been sent back. I mean, yeah, what is your source, Nick Sortor? That's what I want to know. What is your source? Where are you getting the information from? It's not up to like them to clarify anything outside of they just countered your report. Where are you getting this information from? That's a bad look for him at this point. We'll see what happens. So she is the assistant secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, and she has responded as of 9 minutes ago to his tweet. He's still upset about his camera being stolen. I will say that if you go to his account, he's being very emotional about stuff right here, all caps. Worst of the worst essentially means amnesty. 80 million people voted for all illegals to be deported. Stay the course, Mr. President, in an all caps tweet. Now, Trump also said, I just had a very good telephone conversation with Mayor Jacob Frey of Minneapolis. Lots of progress is being made. Tom Homan will be meeting with him tomorrow in order to continue the discussion. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Now, what's funny about this is Jacob Frey and Tim Walz just had a friendly conversation with literally Hitler. Can you believe this? They just had a conversation with literally Hitler. How do you justify that to all of the people on the left that you have claimed that Trump is literally Hitler, and yet you're like, hey, Mr. President, how are you today? It's interesting. So a perfect phone call. So right now, lots of moving parts to this whole situation. Lots of moving parts. But this is the latest we have from DHS. There's Managed Democracies, 50 gifted memberships. Thank you. And right now, Tom Homan is currently, I think Tom Homan, like the fact that Tom Homan is going there to be boots on the ground is a massive, massive win. Okay. Big time. Now, what happens with Greg Bovino? I don't know. But with Tom Homan going there, that's not a positive move for the left. I know that there's a lot of people that are so emotionally tied to this, and they all, the internet is all about everything or nothing. There is almost no nuance on the fucking internet. And that just is how the internet is. And you have to understand that. People on the internet have zero ability to compartmentalize anything. It's like all or nothing. That's it. And it's what TikTok has done. It's what Twitter has done. It's instant returns. You know, it's the binge model bullshit. Like, it's all of that. Like, that is what it is. Tim Pool has the correct take on this move. What is Tim Pool's take? And which take that you're talking about? Because Tim will have about 5 different positions on this. There's not Tim Pool doesn't have a single take on any issue. Tim Pool has whatever take he can have that puts him on both sides of the fence on the issue. So which Tim Pool take are we talking about here? Just to be clear, Tim says Trump surrendered. Is this the same Tim that said that Donald Trump was going to retire because he was tired and he was not going to run for re-election? That Tim Pool? He literally said Donald Trump is too old. This is back in 2023, I think. He said Donald Trump is too old and too tired, and he will not be running for re-election in 2024. That's what he predicted. He said he's going to retire. Trump. Yeah, Trump's going to fucking retire and go to the beach. What? But anyway, we shall see. Now, somebody says, look what Pete Hegseth posted. Okay. Pete Hegseth. Let's see what Pete Hegseth posted. I don't see anything. Unless he did it from his another account. Because the one I'm following, I don't see anything. Pete Hegseth. Does he have a Secretary of War account? Nothing. I don't know what you guys are talking about with Pete Hegseth, but I don't see it. Maybe a reply. Maybe. Let me see if it's a reply. I don't know why he would be replying something important, though. And that's all. Let's see. Yeah, nothing. I don't see anything Pete Hegseth posted. So explain how replacing Greg Bovino and pulling DHS out of Minnesota isn't surrendering then. I don't have to explain shit to you. Number one, I don't know if you listened to me earlier, but unlike 99% of talking heads on the internet, I'm not going to pretend to tell you I have the fucking answer. Okay? But if you want to go listen to somebody who pretends that they know what the fuck is going on, feel free to do that. What I said is I believe Trump has a lot of moves that's going on, but on the surface, this looks bad. That's what I said. On the surface, it looks bad, but I believe that there's probably a lot more going on. Well, if you want to say someone is wrong, then explain why. Wait, okay, first of all, brother, you might be new here, okay? You might be new here, but we have a simple rule around here, okay? You can say horrible things about me. You can say the worst shit imaginable. There's really only two rules, okay? I can't find your comment at the moment. There's two rules, okay? You can't spam, and if you're going to call me out, you better not misspell. And you misspelled, and I can't highlight your fucking comment so that I can put you on blast right now, which really upsets me because I really wanted to do that, and I can't find it. Chat's moving too fucking fast right now. But yeah, you can't talk shit and then misspell, or we're going to roast the living fuck out of you. But anyway, there you go. I can't find your comment to highlight it. Damn StreamYards pisses me off. He spelled it the Yar. Yeah, there he is. The Yar. Jeremy has lost it. Ha! Jeremy never had it, brother. Okay. So now The Atlantic is reporting that Greg Bovino has been removed from his role. This was 27 minutes ago, by the way. So this is the old report, just so we're clear. This is the report that we were getting 30 minutes ago. So let me see if I can get a updated story to that, because DHS has said that's not the case at all. DHS is claiming that's not the case. Yeah, so this is what you're talking about right here. This is where you said Tim Pool says that Trump is surrendering. Again, man, I think that Tim is hard to take seriously on Twitter, and I say this respectfully. Tim does an insane amount of trolling on Twitter, like next level sarcasm and trolling. He does this all the time. So I don't know if he's even serious in saying that right now. Tim loves to be sarcastic to get a response. Now, all right, Nick Sortor just says, I stand by my report. Until Border Patrol agents are back under the control of Greg Bovino, press releases are simply words. My Border Patrol agent sources across the country are fiercely loyal to the man leading them into battle every single day to defend this nation. So there you have it from the man who reported this initially. I saw Homan is going to Minnesota. Is that true? Yes. Tom Homan is going to Minnesota. He should be in Minnesota tonight. That is 100% confirmed. Right here.
One is looking forward. The role of Mr. Homan, is he being sent by the president to diffuse the situation that exists right now on the ground? Is he the point person essentially for the White House in terms of trying to tamp down the tensions that exist right now in Minnesota?
Well, Mr. Homan is the point person for cooperating with state and local authorities and corresponding with them, again, to achieve this level of cooperation to subdue the chaos on the streets of Minneapolis. And I would just point out that Mr. Homan is someone who has been lauded for many, many decades for his experience working in law enforcement. In fact, this is a Washington Post headline from 9 years ago, 2016. Meet the man, the White House.
Hey, by the way, I hate to interrupt it right here. But Andrew CR typed in the chat and said, would Andrew CR. I like women. I'm sorry. I appreciate the compliment. I really do. I appreciate the compliment, Andrew. I really do. But, sorry, brother. There's probably many more fish in the sea for you, though, buddy.
Is honored for deporting illegal immigrants. And I would remind everyone in this room that it was former President Barack Hussein Obama who awarded a medal to Mr. Homan. So he's obviously very qualified. He has the full trust and faith of the president. He will continue to have these meetings in the hopes that ICE and local law enforcement can cooperate and work together to have successful immigration enforcement, as we've seen in almost every other state across the country.
Hey, Sean Hannity.
The fact that she called Barack Hussein Obama is fan-freaking-tastic. Andrew's mad at me now. So Lydia Mex Game says Trump sent his enforcer, Tom Homan. Hell yeah, he did. Mike Hill says small group of Star Wars fans boycotting Celebration because the company got a contract with ICE. I know. I'm probably going to make a video on that on Geeks and Gamers. Kelly Oz says, did I see Paramount all but fired Kurtzman today? I don't know if I saw anything about that. I don't know about that. Gary probably knows the answer to that one. Packet Proton says, I hope Iran has not been forgotten about. It hasn't. Zinni Biscuit says, all of this is because of fraud. All of it. I'm not your buddy guy. Says, listen, I love Trump more than most of my fellow Canadians, but Trump is a GD coward if true. I guess he fired Bovino, Border Patrol chief and true patriot, and is trying to deal with Walz. And this is based on the reports that we had. But DHS is saying this is not true. So we are trying to figure out what's actually going on. MAGA Mike says Bovino wasn't fired. He's being moved out and Tom Homan is being moved in. Trump isn't surrendering. He's trying to get shit done. And these terminal internet influencers just want blood. I tend to agree with everything MAGA Mike just said there. I tend to agree with that. Infinity Flare says, my federal job held a virtual vigil today on Teams for Alex Preddy and anyone else who passed in Minnesota, with no regards to the agents who have to live with having the use of lethal force to do their job. The virtue signaling is next level, dude. It really is. I can't believe how bad all of this stuff is. Like companies holding moments of silence, sporting events holding moments of silence for this. It's crazy. I am Brockatron says Trump and his admin are way too nice. When Texas tried to follow immigration law and seal their border, the Biden administration sued them. Trump needs to be the dictator they say he is for a bit. I've long said that I wish Trump was the person that the left says he is. I really do. I wish Trump was the dictator that they said that he is. I want him to be that guy. Mar Millen says, talk slower, Jeremy. Andrew is almost finished. JB username says, can we all take a moment for some positivity? All these fat leftists are finally getting outside and exercising. Pretty based. That's Trump. 5D chess from Trump. 5D chess. Trump's like, they're all fat and ugly. Let's get them outside and protest a little bit. Get them start working out. There it is. NBA canceling games because a nurse was shot. Oh my God. Dude, imagine growing up in the 90s, okay? Like me, watching the bad boy Pistons, watching Jordan, watching Bird and Magic in the 80s, watching all of this shit, and then getting to a point where the NBA is canceling games because a fucking nurse got shot. What the hell, dude? Are you kidding me right now? Hey, guys, we got to cancel the game tonight. A nurse got shot. What? Good Lord. So, again, this is DHS responding to the reports of Bovino being relieved of his duty, saying he has not been relieved of his duty. So, we're going to have to continue to see how this all plays out. Very fluid situation as it stands. Okay, we got that one. Yeah, a lot of people are running with that report. Man, everybody's reporting on this. So this is like 42 minutes ago, Greg Bovino demoted and removed from his role as Border Patrol chief, The Atlantic reports. And I'm sure The Atlantic got it from Nick Sortor. If this is true, this is fucking horrendous. But DHS says it's not true. If it is, though, horrible look for the Trump administration. Horrible. In every way. Again, he could have requested it. Maybe, but you don't get demoted based on, like, these headlines. There is nobody better at the media game than Donald Trump, okay? There's nobody. Trump understands the power of words, the power of optics, the power of language. If Greg Bovino is being demoted and removed from his role, there is nothing good about that. Zero. There's nothing good about that, if that's in fact the case. But again, DHS says it's not, so I'm keeping my eye on everything right now just to see what's happening. Now, as we continue to follow that, we do have a lot more to talk about. Going to be a massive L if so. Well, it is a massive L if that is the case, but we just don't know yet. But we do have a massive L right here that I can show you. And I saw this quote tweet. So I guess this is is this one of these workout bros or whatever? This workout bro did one of the cringiest videos I have ever seen, okay? He's one of these workout influencer bros, okay? I always wonder how many takes they do. Like, if he didn't think he looked angry enough or gestured emphatically enough there, surely gave himself at least 5 fucktards to choose from for the final cut. Now, when you watch this video, it is so this guy this is theater at its best right here, okay? This guy removes his overcoat and then rolls up his sleeves in a very gay and gimmicky way. Listen to this.
Yeah, fucking political. That was murder. An ICU nurse who worked at the VA, who was legally carrying a firearm that was fucking holstered while he was filming.
Why are you taking your shirt off like that? Why are you doing that? What was the point of that? It's all theatrics. It's all theatrical bullshit. Look at this shit.
An ICU nurse who worked at the VA, who was legally carrying a firearm that was fucking holstered while he was filming, who is now being painted as...
He had to throw it down Let me throw it down, guys. Let me throw my shirt down to show my disgust. I'm mad, and I'm going to throw my shirt down. Woo! That really drives the point home. Man, this guy's really upset.
Who is now being painted as a domestic terrorist because he took a gun to a protest. But all these 2A motherfuckers a couple years back were screaming Kyle Rittenhouse's name from the goddamn rooftops.
Kyle Rittenhouse, do you know what Kyle Rittenhouse did when police went to apprehend him? Can you just take one fucking guess as to what Kyle Rittenhouse did when police officers went to question and arrest him? Do you know what he did? He put up his fucking hands and he respected law enforcement. You stupid fuck.
Oh, that was different. Yeah, you're right. He had a fucking rifle strapped to his chest. The man who was shot and murdered by ICE was concealed carrying a firearm that he was legally allowed to fucking have. I am now seeing reports that it's even possible that they disarmed him by taking his weapon out of his holster that was at his 6 o'clock, and then they mag dumped the fucking guy. So if you are legally carrying a firearm and they take that off of your person and then utilize that as a justification to put rounds in your fucking back while you were laying face down on the pavement, then it was never about following the law. The Second Amendment doesn't matter anymore, and you're fucked. So where's all the don't tread on me, two-way, gun-toting, boot-licking fucktards? Or is it just when it's not on your fucking side? So I'm done playing.
This guy acts like MAGA just supports any crazy person with a fucking gun. What are you talking about? What world are you living in where MAGA people are like, hey, well, he had a gun so he can walk in there and shoot up a place? What are you talking about? That has never been the stance of MAGA. Not even fucking close. MAGA has always been about, exercise your rights, but respect law enforcement. Don't break the fucking law. What the? Holy shit.
The middle ground. I'm done making first aid videos that just might help. That can be seen by both sides. So fuck it. Fuck Trump. Fuck ICE. We are not mad enough.
No, we're not mad enough until we take our shirt off and throw it in the corner.
Fucking holstered while he was filming.
There we go. Now we're mad enough. Theatrics. Theatrical bullshit. You were so mad, you decided to record a video with theatrics in it, properly edit it together, just so you can get all of the emotional weight out of it. What a loser. There's so many of these idiots out there right now that I'm seeing. It's crazy. All right. Any more updates now? Here's Nick Sortor. So he is tagging them and he's like, why has Greg Bovino and his team been locked out of his social media accounts? Any comment on that? This is getting interesting. Like right now, Nick Sortor he's putting all of his credibility on the line right now, especially with music, Gerald Armstrong. He had the music involved and all that shit too. Absolutely pathetic bullshit. So I will say Sortor's putting all of his credibility on the line right now. Every bit of it. John freaking Murdoch for 50 says, hey, Jeremy, I don't think Second Amendment covers assaulting ICE while carrying concealed. It's almost like no MAGA person's ever said that, John. Like, you understand that. I understand that. Everybody here understands that. But this idiot that we were watching a few minutes ago knew nothing about it. It's not that he knew nothing about it. He didn't want to admit it. Cobra Commander 2003 says Trump and Homan should realize that if they capitulate with the mob, then the patriots will need to regulate. It's either ICE can pick them up or sanitation can scrape them up. We are done with violent PDF illegals. No more. Thank you, Cobra Commander. You got to get a profile picture, Cobra Commander. You got to. I mean, that's the rule. You're Cobra Commander, right? Thank you for the 20 gifted or the $20 super chat. Appreciate that. My goodness, man. This is getting interesting because right now, hang on. DHS Secretary Noem and close advisor Corey Lewandowski are at risk of losing their jobs. The Atlantic. First of all, the Atlantic is bullshit. So while this report can be out there, if the Atlantic is the only source you have, I ain't buying any. I think that there's a lot of media sources trying to create more chaos for the Trump administration right now. That's what I believe. I believe that 100%. So I'm not buying that from the Atlantic. So we will hear what more information comes out when we have it. But we don't have anything right now. All right. So again, this is reports that he was leaving Minnesota, but the context here is that here's a glimpse of some of the treatment he received while doing his job. So this is a glimpse. Is that like a Target? It's like he's at a Target.
All these fucking bums. Fucking bum. You're a bitch. And if your wife is out, probably fuck her too. You guys are all bitches. You can't do shit to me. You can't do a thing to me. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out. Nobody fucking wants you here. Right. Get the fuck out. Walk the fuck out, you stupid bitches. Get the fuck out of here. You dumb. The fuck out of here. You fucking coward. You're a fucking coward, bitch. You're a fucking bitch. Hold on, babe. I'm on the phone with these bitch ass niggas. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here, you stupid bitches. You're a fucking coward piece of shit. Fuck you. And if
Seems a bit emotional. Seems a bit emotional.
you didn't have a gun or a badge, I would beat the shit out of you. Take that fucking badge off and that fucking gun and see what happens. You shut the fuck up. You're not fucking tough. You're a bitch. Get the fuck out, you fucking pussy.
Dude, that straight up was a threat. Like, he should be arrested right there on site. He said, if you didn't have a badge, I would beat the shit out of you. He should be arrested on site for threats against law enforcement.
You fucking bitch ass white boys. I'll fucking spit on you. Fucking get out of here. Get the fuck out. Fuck out. Fuck out. Stay back. Stay back. Stay back. Fuck off. Stay back. Easy. Back up. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. You fucking. Get the fuck out. Nobody wants you here. Nobody wants you here. Fuck nobody wants you here.
The reality of it is this guy saying if here, let me find where he said that. Right here. I think it's right here.
Fuck out of here, you stupid bitches. You're a fucking coward piece of shit. Fuck you. And if you didn't have a gun or a badge, I would beat the shit out of you.
If he didn't have a gun or a badge, you wouldn't be saying anything. That's the truth. You're only saying this. You're only talking to him like this because you know he has to show restraint. You know he has to show restraint. You know he can't respond. And so therefore, you're going to talk all that shit. That's exactly what is going on right there. Pecky Proton says, sending Jeremy a strongly worded letter. Andrew Sarah says, anyway, have you seen Candace trying to say architecture? She says, Archie, what did she say? I don't know what she said there. I haven't heard this, though. I do have Candace Owens and her name muted on Twitter, but sometimes I'll look it up and see what's going on. But I I haven't seen what's been going on with Candace Owens in a while. So, Matt for $6.99 says, I'm doing an AI story of 24 season 1 if it was set in 2016. Instead of Davies Palmer, Jack Bauer has to protect Donald Trump. That'll be interesting. Key says, here's how I see it. He enacts the Insurrection Act. He's called a true dictator. If he does a deal, they still riot. They look worse. Unfortunately, most people won't see any alternative sides. It's true, man. People either want all or nothing. And that's just not really how things get done. So, you know, Jay Lucian says, I didn't mean to leave it on repeat tax. Johnny Witzka says, how are you, Jeremy? I wish I could give you a big super chat. It's all right, man. Whatever. You don't have to give me anything, but I appreciate the support. Greatly appreciate it. Let's see. MAGA Mike says, breaking. This word is now meaningless on X. Honestly, there was this guy. God, what was his name? He's a big political guy. I think he worked in the Trump administration briefly. He's got a Rumble channel and all that. Wish I could remember this was years ago. But every tweet he would make, it would start out with breaking. And I'm like, what? Like, and I'm so sick and tired of people starting their tweets out with breaking. Everything's breaking. And sometimes this shit will be like 48 hours old, you know? So, anyway, it's just annoying. Even urgent has lost its luster. Very true. Greedy Gafridi says, are you going to cover the Sydney Sweeney's new lingerie brand? It's important news that you should be covering. I don't want her covered at all. But I did see the story about the Hollywood sign. I guess there's some speculation on if it's even real or not, so I'm not sure. Olympian Products says Sydney Sweeney may be in legal trouble after hanging her bras on the Hollywood sign. I'm no legal expert, but Trump better give her a pardon. He damn sure better. He should. Bird Up says an hour-long stream of Mike and Beardo talking like Jesse Ventura win. Maybe Tuesday night's main event. Eric Doherty, holy crap tax. What, did he make another tweet just now? Hang on. It's just like constant stuff going on. Can't keep up anymore. And there's Twitter being Twitter, not letting me refresh the feed. So see, you've got people tweeting stuff like this out. MAGA collapses based on something that has not been confirmed at all. DHS has countered that by saying that it's not true. However, I don't know if it is or isn't right now. I have no idea. Let's see. Simplistic says, Thufferin Thuckatath. Good Lord. What? You want me to read that whole thing? Simplistic. Trump tweeted this out, by the way. And I think you'll appreciate it, but Trump tweeted this out earlier. New York City in a slightly different time. Never forget. Trump tweeted this out. I don't know if I can play the music or not, but New York City in a slightly different time. Man, oh man. Yeah. Look what they took from us. He's eyeing New York next. I think so. I think he's going to focus in on New York after the midterms. I don't think he's going to focus in before the midterms. I think it'd be after the midterms when he focuses in on that. Yeah, no fat people. No fat people. But yeah, so it's pretty interesting that Trump put this out earlier today. Trump must win the midterms. Well, I agree with that. Jess says, man, I loved the dresses in this era. Pretty good stuff. So, okay, next up. Let's see. Oh God, here we go. Like we've reached next level crazy bullshit, dude. All right. Breaking. Dr. Bruce Davidson lays out conspiracy that alleges President Trump has likely suffered a stroke. The left has completely lost their fucking mind.
He's had a prior stroke. He was taking 325 milligrams of aspirin. That is only recommended for people who've had a stroke to prevent a second stroke from a partially blocked artery, major artery in the brain. When we see patients in the hospital or in clinic, even if we're seeing them for lung problems, we look at their drugs, we look at their past history. We see many patients.
Bro, Trump is like 80. And he's like a machine who never stops. He's always going. He's always working. I'm in my mid 40s. Like there's a meme of like literally anytime I get home from anywhere and it's like it shows you getting into bed. It's just like Trump is like 80. He's like the Terminator. He just won't stop.
Who've had previous strokes, and we know what that looks like. For President Trump, earlier in the year, there was video of him shuffling, and I thought that was weird. Then I saw him cradling his right hand in his left, which is a common involuntary thing that people with strokes had done when they have weakness on one side. He garbled words much more so a couple months ago that
I wonder how much of a breakdown this guy did when Joe Biden was in office. I wonder, did you do, because you literally had daily things that you could have been breaking down.
and he's doing now. That implicates broke his speech area, which is in the frontal left portion of the brain. Recently, there was video of him walking down the stairs from Air Force One, holding the banister with his left hand, yet he's right-handed, signs with his right hand. And his speech became much better. That suggested to me, along with a 325 milligram of aspirin, for which you only take for one thing. He's had a prior stroke. He's recovered from the stroke.
Oh my gosh, man. This is where they are now.
Problem. Earlier in the year.
This is where they are. The left has reached this place where they're just making up theories to make people believe that Trump is in bad health now. Good Lord, man. You got to be kidding me. Speaking of people that are pathetic look, we've made fun of a lot of people on this channel over the years, okay? Respectfully, by the way, respectfully, okay? We've made fun of a lot in a most respectful way possible. I am going to show you, potentially, the gayest person we have ever covered on Cobra Cast 199, if you can believe it. This might be the gayest person we have ever covered in the history of this channel. Let me present to you Legal Eagle. Legal Eagle, ladies and gentlemen. He's got a few things to talk about in reference to ICE in Minnesota. Here we go. Let's listen to Legal Eagle.
And by God, that's commendable. And we need to continue to stand up because they did too. And look, you don't need to be a lawyer to know that their shootings were not justified. But I think we need to take a step back too to recognize that, you know, ICE and CBP shouldn't have been there in the first place. They have no right and no duty to do crowd control, to be on the front lines using weapons against protesters. These people should not be armed. We've sort of grown inured to it, but they are not enforcing criminal law. Even when they are enforcing immigration laws, which they are not right now, it is state-sponsored protest control of people exercising their First Amendment rights. At best, they are enforcing regulatory and civil laws. And there's no reason they should have firearms in the first place. I don't even think should have less lethals like pepper balls, and they shouldn't be using tear gas and pepper spray and bear spray. on protesters. That's insane. It would be as if we gave every postal worker and every person who delivers the mail, an AR-15.
Hey, I think that's a great policy. I think that's a great policy. Let's back that up one more time. Hang on.
Every postal worker and every person who delivers the mail, an AR-15.
Why not? Do you know how much crime would be cut down? Do you know how much crime would be cut down? Do you know how much assault would be cut down?
They don't need it to complete their duties, and it's insane that they have been armed and are wearing flak jackets and are obviously wearing masks for no other reason than to obscure their identity and prevent accountability. Obviously, the shootings are unjustified, but the entire situation that recently Alex Preddy unfortunately found himself in, and the woman next to him, they should not have been pushed.
You mean the situation he put his fucking self in? He put himself into the situation. He didn't unfortunately find himself in a situation. He literally put himself in that situation. My goodness, dude. Like, it's crazy. It's absolutely nuts.
Aside by these putative federal officers for exercising their First Amendment rights. They should not have been restrained. They should not have been pepper sprayed while they were restrained. And of course, they should not have been shot and murdered while they were prone and restrained.
One of my favorite legal eagle moments is this one right here. This is truly like this. There's never been a more perfect situation to explain TDS than this one right here. Legal eagle. Trump is not immune from prosecution. Duh. His follow-up video is, we're fucked. Trump is immune. Oh, man. I love the elitist kind of approach that they take when they're like, Trump is not immune. Duh. And then he's like, uh-oh. He is immune because he is the God Emperor Trump. He is immune. So deal with it, legal eagle. Yeah, dude. I mean, the guy is truly pathetic in every way. Absolutely ridiculous. Now, and to bring, hang on just a minute. What? Hang on. Why did that? It showed Geeks and Gamers was live. And I was like, what? Like, literally, look at this. It shows Geeks and Gamers is live. Like, what the hell is Geeks and Gamers? Somebody hit the live button over there? What's going on? But that's from earlier. It just did not, it just didn't, I guess it was connecting from earlier, but I was like, what the hell? What did Ryan do? Okay. So we've got this story right here that I want to talk about. I got to see if I can find it right here. Okay. So Cam Higbee. All right. Cam Higbee, independent journalist who has been on the ground in Minneapolis. He broke a huge story about a signal group that this super innocent Alex Pretty guy was part of. And in this signal group, bro, a lot of stuff was shown. This was an organized situation. All right. This guy was not the innocent bystander that they claimed that he was. So let's listen in.
The clashes with DHS or federal law enforcement officers in general are not happening at the federal building so much anymore. They're happening at intersections. How do you know that federal law enforcement are at these intersections? You're in the signal chats. I do have very strong confidence that Alex Preddy was in it because he was identified as being in it by several members of the network as well as his neighbor.
You need to ask the question, why is it just happening in Minnesota? answer, ladies and gentlemen, brought about by Cam Higbee, who is an independent journalist, is that this is being all centrally orchestrated. Here's the group chat right here. You put it up.
All organized, all orchestrated. Now, if in fact this is 100% confirmed to be true, this takes it to a whole nother level, because you're talking about government people involved with this and everything. Like this takes it to a whole different level.
Cam's reporting shows that there is a militant, paramilitary style organization to the chaos and terrorism in Minneapolis. What has been revealed is that very close allies and agents of the Minnesota architecture and infrastructure, power infrastructure, have locked in and are operationally giving service and state resources to these chats. These chats tell left-wing agitators where ICE is, tracking them, stopping them from enforcing the laws.
This is straight up, like, this is next level illegal. If in fact this is true, this needs a full-on investigation. Like what we're seeing, this is why, and people can be justifiably upset. I do get it. On the surface, everything we are seeing right now in Minnesota and this goes back to the fraud that Nick Shirley exposed, and now what Cam Higbee is exposing, and the fact that Tim Walz and Jacob Fry have been motivating a lot of this behavior, this anti-ICE behavior, because it takes away from them having to answer for the fraud. All of this is a fucking problem.
Of America, following them, stalking them, training left-wing agitators in shifts. It is extremely sophisticated. You have units and wards, almost like a war zone, that are blocked off, spotters everywhere. People that knew that James O'Keefe is pretty good at being undercover was in Minneapolis. They were tracking James's license plate and sending James death threats in real time.
We have that
as to where James was.
We have James O'Keefe confirmed that. He showed it to us. He showed us the messages that he was receiving, the threats against his life. And you know, like, I covered Moist Critical's ridiculous take the other day. And Moist Critical, like I said, when it comes to politics, the dude is so bad. But he is your typical TikTok user. He's your typical Twitter user where he does no research whatsoever. He simply hears what the left wants him to believe, and he repeats that. The reality of the situation is ICE is in tons of different states right now. They're everywhere. And they're having no problems in any of these states that they're in, except Minneapolis and Minnesota. Why is that? Because the local government is failing to work with them. The local government is creating more and more and more problems because they want the distraction and they want the chaos, because they don't want people to actually look at what's going on in that state. And people are frustrated that that's not being taken seriously. And I agree with that.
Please welcome independent journalist Cam Higbee to the show. Cam, congratulations, bro. This is really remarkable work. The floor is yours. I want to just maybe perhaps you could start off by saying, did we give a good synopsis of everything that has been exposed in these signal chat leaks? I know there's been a lot.
Yeah, there has been a lot, and I think you gave a pretty good synopsis. I've been pretty clear with my audience. I've been on the leaking massive amounts of information side, less than the identifying people in the chat side. I don't have the strongest confidence ever that Peggy Flanagan was in it, but I do have very strong confidence that Alex Preddy was in it, because he was identified as being in it by several members of the network as well as his neighbor. Not only that, he was engaging in the exact tactics they teach you to engage in inside these signal chats. Same thing with Renee Nicole Good. She was also engaging in the exact same topics or tactics. And here's the other issue, is that so all of these incidents, these shootings, the clashes with DHS, or federal law enforcement officers in general are not happening at the federal building so much anymore. They're happening at intersections. How do you know that federal law enforcement are at these intersections?
Yeah, you can't. That's not just that's just not a coincidence at all. It's not a coincidence. Timu Temple, Cam Higbee does good work. So I don't know much about him, but I get the Temple meme though.
The signal chats. I've patrolled the streets of southern Minneapolis, which is where both of these shootings happened, looking for interactions with.
I saw someone says that a half beard. The internet doesn't give a fuck. The internet will find every single issue and roast it.
Federal agents. You can't find them unless you're in these signal chats. Once I joined the signal chats, I was able to track them like that. They call out the intersection, I go to the intersection. There's a federal agent, and here's a bunch of protesters surrounding that person. I was in the signal chat for several days before I felt an overwhelming obligation to make the public aware of what was happening. Like you said, there were a lot of other reporters inside the chats, and I just wonder why there wasn't a feeling of obligation from mainstream reporters to leak this.
But you would wonder why. Why is it the mainstream talking about this? Because the mainstream doesn't want the public to have the truth. The mainstream wants the narrative twisted because you just have a lot of low information, low IQ people that will just run with the first piece of left-wing propaganda that they get. And we see it constantly. And then you have people like Moist Critical who have massive audiences and is going to get millions of views spreading complete and total lies to his audience.
Reuters, who I think people have identified, and again, I'm not saying with 100% certainty that they were in there because I just haven't had time to look into all the names yet. I've just been doing info drops. There was a Reuters car behind us. I think for 2 days, they had a Reuters printout in their windshield right behind us, especially when we were, when I was following a bunch of protesters that were following Greg Bovino around. They dumped a bag of chips on him. He had to deploy that green tear gas. Everybody saw that video. That was that day. There was a Reuters car right behind us, and we were right behind the convoy. So that's what's going on. And the signal chats did get nuked as a result of my reporting. They completely wiped the signal chats, but they've restarted. This is live right now. There they are, calling out license plates and intersections as we speak.
So wait a second. This can't be legal because what you're doing is you're engaging in collusion against federal law enforcement. You're obviously getting people put in harm's way. You're threatening the lives of these federal agents. Who knows what else are on these chats? So I have two follow-up questions for you, Cam. One, have you sent any of these chats to federal authorities? Do you believe that the FBI or DNI, CIA, or anybody is in potentially control of these chats, that they have been notified? Have you done any of that? And then
there's an active effort to relay my information to federal investigative organization. I haven't gotten too far with that yet, just because of busyness on both sides, their side and my side. So we're working on it. But here's the other thing: is
this should tell you everything you need to know about the left right here. The left decided to Photoshop Alex Pretty. They Photoshopped him to make him look more attractive. Oh boy. You love to see it. Yep. That's what the left did right there.
Is that these people get arrested all the time. I mean, there was thousands before the network got nuked at about half capacity, maybe less now, as far as like numbers of people in the signal chats. There were thousands before. And not only that, there would be so every day they'd launch a new chat. So every chat is dated. At the end of the day, they delete the chat. As soon as the new chat would drop, maxed out immediately. And people would cycle in and out all day. So there's more than 1,000 people. 1,000 is the max, but they cycle in and out. So there's more than that in each.
Wait, do we have like a hater? I keep seeing you guys responding to this guy. Is this the guy you guys have been responding to all tweet? I'm convinced this chat is full of bots. Yeah. That's why we call ourselves iDots and iBots. Are you new here? Yeah, we do that. And then what I do is I highlight people like you, and then I get super chats. And then you get mad. But you pretend it doesn't make you mad, but it makes you really mad.
Zone. I can't express that enough. You've got a zone for the north, the south, downtown, Whittier Park, et cetera, et cetera. There are so many chats and they're all maxed out. So the network was gigantic. So somebody had to have gotten arrested with this on their phone. So I would hope that federal organizations had access to these chats before even I did. What I see is, and again, I'm not a legal expert. I do, play a fair hand at debating pretty often, but I see a mass conspiracy at the bare minimum to violate 8 U.S. Code 1324, which is aiding and abetting illegal aliens, because they actively talk about protecting vulnerable communities and impeding ICE.
Yes.
With this information, and I would assume that President Trump has been briefed on this along with so many other things. I would imagine that they are very aware of this, and they are very aware of how dangerous this is. And because I know that if you guys missed if you guys missed my stream, was it Saturday? I think. Pam Bondi did send a strongly worded letter to Tim Walz. So I think that that's probably going to get the job done. Again, if somebody like Greg Bovino gets removed and Pam Bondi still has a job, that's going to cause a lot of problems in MAGA.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they put multiple people for January 6th that were on some group chats in prison for 22 years, for decades on end. They weren't even at January 6th, right? Enrique Tarrio wasn't even there, but he was in some group chats, talking smack on the day of January 6th. And they said that's enough to charge him with terroristic conspiracy, to put him away for a considerable portion of the rest of his life. Do you see things? I mean, this is clearly worse than that.
Yeah. I'm just wondering when we're going to get the select committee together and witch hunt every single person who's in the signal chats. This seems to me, and I'm not a J6 expert, but this seems to be far, far more coordinated than.
Dude, this is 100,000 times worse than January 6th. Like 100,000 times worse. This is awful. And January 6th happened, and the left is still crying about it to this day, pretending like it's the worst moment in U.S. history. This is a lot worse than that, and it's a lot more organized. It's a lot more dangerous, and it's gone on a lot longer as well.
Anything that happened on January 6th. And last night you had a situation where they broke into a hotel where ICE were allegedly staying, destroyed the place, and by the way, attacked a lone guy who wasn't even an ICE agent. He was a federal agent with the Bureau of Prisons. He's a prison guard. But these people can't read because they're idiots. So they saw green and said green man bad and then attacked him.
You've been attacked. You were in some of those vehicles. We played the footage with Nick Shirley, I think, and some others.
Sort of.
And you had frozen water bottles thrown and smashed your vehicle, and you were attacked. Do you think that this chat was being used in order to facilitate your attack? And how much threat are you in the streets of Minneapolis, Cam?
I think that attack was, I think that their presence there was probably coordinated by the chats. I think that they might have identified me through the chats, and then things escalated from there in person. In the attack.
We'll see. Speaking of attacks, we've got this. James O'Keefe has this video right here, and I'm going to have to call it like I see it. I think that James O'Keefe goes out of his way to get the most clickbait kind of stuff that he can so that he can continue to build up the tease for the video. So he gets good stuff, but James O'Keefe, 1,000%, in my opinion, is out there intentionally trying to get shit like I'm about to show you, so he can upload stuff like this and build. It's like a TV show, what it is.
They're everywhere. Shut the fucking doors. Shut the door. Shut the fucking doors. We're fucking pressed. We're pressed. You know what the First Amendment is? First Amendment. Yes or no? They threw a frozen ice brick at the car. Take off your vest.
Like that's a really good teaser for sure. But it's like Mr. Beast with balls. You know what I mean? Like he goes out there and he's like, all right, guys, we got to get really good fucking content. We got to piss these people off so that they can get pissed off at us. So we can get some really good teaser footage. And again, I'm not hating, but it doesn't seem genuine. It doesn't seem real. It seems manufactured in a lot of ways. But he's good at it. Credit where credit's due. I met James O'Keefe. I met him at the Republican National Convention, and he actually knew me because him and his team, because I reacted to one of those undercover videos. It got a lot of views on Geeks and Gamers. Yeah, so I was like, yeah, you guys saw that. So I thought that was kind of cool, but so I don't care if they're watching me. It's kind of like cringy a little bit. It's kind of WWE level. However, it's better than current WWE. I mean, slamming my dick in a door would be better than current WWE. So that's not saying a whole lot. But anyway, back to Cam Higbee.
That happened. I think that I have a massive target on my back now. They're posting photos of me undercover on Blue Sky everywhere. And to be clear, I've been out on the streets every single day since I leaked Signalgate. But there is a massive target on my back. I've gotten people telling me that because I leaked the Signal chat, it's personal and they're going to kill me and put a bullet in my head. I was getting chased down and people were threatening me that they had a gun on them and they were going to shoot me even before I leaked the Signal chat, following the Jeep attack. Luckily, I had a security guard with me and he handled the situation very well through Brandon Tatum's Black Line Guardian Fund. But it is just monumentous. And I don't know how nothing is going to get done about this. Something has to get done about this.
So that's the gist of it. We don't need to watch the rest of that, but that's the gist of it right there. This Signal chat that this Alex Pretty guy more than likely seems to have been part of, and that does make a lot of sense for the organized kind of chaos that we're seeing right now. Hopefully something's going to get done about this. Hopefully. We shall see. What is this? Hang on. Will Patrick Bateman 2.0, aka Gavin Newsom, accept Alex Jones debate challenge? Is Alex Jones challenging Newsom to a debate?
You gotta come on Word War Debate, dude. You gotta come on our show. We want you to debate.
Every time
people,
I say yes for the show, it gets canceled.
No, dude, we were gonna ask you to do World War Debate. You were super busy. We would love to have you. You can debate anybody you want. We pay really well. We'll take care of you, first class.
You want me to fly out there? Okay.
Yeah, we'll take care of you, dude. And whoever you want to debate, pick it. Come in and light them up, dude. We would love to have you. It's a neutral site. We pick no sides.
Well, who should I debate?
Who would you like to debate? Pick one person, anybody you want, and we'll set it up, and we'll give you the best opportunity to shine, dude. Word War Debate is where the greats go to bang, and we would love to have you on there.
Well, I bet you can't get. I want Governor Newsom.
Dude, we'll feel he's going on. He went on Ben Shapiro's. I think he might do it. Let's see if we can set it up. We'll have our people reach out to Gavin Newsom to see if he'll debate Alex Jones.
All right, we'll do it. Optimal human, you love the green.
We'll see about that. I don't know. I would say there's almost zero chance that Gavin Newsom would take that debate. Number one, he won't be able to I was going to say he wouldn't be able to sit in the same room as Alex Jones because from the optic standpoint, but I mean, in the in the left's mind, Alex Jones and Ben Shapiro are the same person. So if he sat down with Ben Shapiro, which he did, maybe, I don't know, maybe. Okay, let's see where we're at. Let me catch up on some super chats really quickly. And just so we're clear, all right, because many people are still talking about it. The latest we've heard of the reports of Greg Bovino being out, the latest we have heard is that he is not out, and that is DHS saying that. So Nick Sortor is sticking to his report, but the earlier report from Caroline Leavitt was that Greg Bovino will continue storming across the country with border agents rounding up illegals while Tom Homan becomes the point man in Minnesota. So that is directly from the Trump White House right there. So take that, or leave it. Jeremy the Cyborg says, sent you something interesting in your DMs. I'll check it. Schrodinger's chat says, 12 inches of snow here in central Ohio. Spent all day behind the snowblower. Back to work tomorrow. Hail Chad. Hail the 199, our fearless leader. 12 inches of snow. God, that's crazy, man. Hopefully everybody's being safe with the winter storm that has been covering much of the country. Ministry of Fun Things says lots of propaganda propping out right now as Signalgate went nuclear, exposing Minnesota officials directly involved. What are the odds? Interesting. That's a very good point, Ministry of Wrong Thing. So with all of with this signal stuff blowing up, suddenly now you got a lot of fake news being thrown around out there. Trump having a stroke, Kristi Noem getting fired, Greg Bovino resigning, whatever. So that is interesting timing. MAGA Mike says, see, stop falling for the panic and rhetoric, y'all. Nick Sortor fell for it because it's that easy to black pill. MAGA Mike says, thank you for actually looking into these things being reported. All these people want to be the first for the breaking post, and sometimes they jump the gun. They absolutely do. It's a huge problem on Twitter, and it has been for a long time. But I mean, what are you going to do? John freaking Murdoch for 50 says, breaking sources confirm that Jeremy is a massage agent and gets checks for $7,000. He is also a major grifter that gets money from YouTube. Hail 199, hail iDots, happy Jessica. John, I think you're at about 4,500 left that you got to pay to get that 7,000. It's fine. I'm not complaining. But I think you still got about 4,500 left, give or take, So I'm a patient guy. I'm not mad. I'm not complaining. I'm not bringing it up to guilt trip you into sending more. I would never do that. I'm not that type of person. I would never do that. I don't think that's a very good look to do that. I already get enough accusations of being a grifter. I would never want to do that in front of 3,500 people, making myself look like a more of a grifter. So anyway, we'll just leave it at that. Ministry of Wrong Thing for 20 says, did some digging. Looks like Walz may have agreed to let ICE grab illegals straight from prison as done in every normal state. If true, they don't need that many ICE officers. It'd mean Minnesota agrees to work with feds. That's what the theory is. Let me show you this one right here. And again, this is why people just completely fucking overreact to everything until they want to just breathe a little bit, wait to get the information. I don't know if what's happening, but there's a lot of speculation out there. John for 50 says, damn, I thought you forgot. You see there, John? You see there? Let's freaking go. John freaking Murdoch for another 50 gifted memberships. Phil says, keep going to John. But right here, Trump made a deal with Walz and Fry. They are going to work with federal government to deport the most violent criminals, and Trump will scale back the number of agents in Minnesota. I like it. Any other left-wing state that has just watched the chaos that has engulfed in Minnesota will not want to go down the same path. They will be more than willing to work with federal law enforcement and deportations rather than turn their state into a circus. I like the optics for Trump here, and I like it. So if that's the case, it does seem like a win. But again, most people want the Insurrection Act. They want all of that to happen. And I just don't think that that's going to be a good. I think that's just going to create more havoc for Trump than anything. But we'll see. Again, this is this guy's speculation on this, by the way. This is not confirmed. This is just his way of looking at it. Manager of wrong thing, saying the same thing right here. So we'll see what actually happens from that. Let me see where we're at. Epically Eddie says, lawful shot. They made a choice in a split second against a guy who brought a weapon to a protest instead impeded law enforcement and decided to fight them. Don't write checks you can't cash. F-A-F-O. Easily. I mean, I saw this clip earlier from Steven Crowder, and I thought it was pretty good because he was reacting to a lot of these leftist lunatics out there that are, running their mouths and saying all these things about what's going on. I wanted to react to it a little bit here. Nullface for 20 says, someone needs to add Tim Pool and Cam Higbee into that Alex Pretty looking maxing screenshot. Oh, man. So right here, let me see if I can find it. History. Right here. Crowder reacts to the worst takes on ICE shooting right here. Look who leads us off right there.
This point that they're trying to beat into the empty minds of a lot of people that are trying so hard to justify it is that the only people being arrested and targeted by ICE are rapists and pedophiles.
No, we didn't say that.
Which is just not the case. There definitely have been rapists and pedophiles that have been snatched up in all of this.
Many.
And those rapists and pedophiles that have been caught and taken away, that's good. They shouldn't be out there breathing the free air. Great.
Pause.
But that's not...
Yeah, but the left doesn't say that's good because they protect them and they won't even let us go into the prisons to take out those people.
Correct.
They have sanctuary cities, they have sanctuary states, which precludes any federal law enforcement from taking anyone out. And you have seen protesters blockade and protect sex traffickers, pedophiles, human traffickers. Let's continue. Here's a take. You see this quite a bit. Libertarian take. Dave Smith wrote. I absolutely disagree. And
dude, I can't tell you how happy I have been the last few days for all of these people finally seeing the stupidity of Dave Smith. People are finally seeing how stupid this motherfucker is. Dave Smith is a legitimately dumb human being. He is retarded. He's to the point, he is AOC level stupid.
It's incumbent upon people who about things to give an answer. I've not heard them give answers. He wrote, I'm an immigration restrictionist. I believe that we have the right to remove any and all people who entered our country illegally. Great. Also, ICE is out of control. A bunch of drunk on power going around intentionally escalating violent interactions and intimidating U.S. citizens.
ICE is out of fucking control. A bunch of pussies drunk on power going around intentionally escalating violent interactions and intimidating U.S. citizens. What? So, Dave, you libertarian retard, ICE is in tons of states right now handling illegal immigrants. We've heard of 2 situations in the entire country where violence happened. Of all of the ICE agent interactions in all of the states, we have had 2 situations that have been widely reported. So you are basing this off of 2 situations where the ICE agents did not escalate, did not start it. They only responded to someone creating problems. So even with those 2 situations, it's not even ICE officers' fault, but they're out of control, according to Dave Smith.
By sleeping at home 2 suites? That's playing into the left's game and just picking their crescendo. Not everything else that led up to it. Are they doing that when they're sleeping? They create these tragic situations, and after this gigantic show of force, they won't deport a fraction of the illegals who entered under Biden. This is simply not worth it. Well, that's also one of those things, that black pilling, that nothing works. I mean, the border is effectively fixed, right? Right now, the border crossings are down to a statistical basically zero compared to Biden. That's a big thing. And yes, there are about 2 or 3 times the amount of self-deportations than there are from actual ICE. So here's the thing. Okay.
Crowder doing pretty good lately. I've said this, man. I criticized Crowder a lot in the early days of Cobra Cast, and I was wrong about Crowder in a lot of ways. I stand by his comedy is cringy, and I hate his comedy. I don't find Steven Crowder funny in any capacity whatsoever. But Crowder seems to be one of the most level-headed, big-time conservative media guys out there. However, his comedy is so cringe. It's fucking horrendously cringe.
So they haven't done enough. All right? So they need to do more. Dave, or people like Dave, how do they do it? How do they do it going into cities that are sanctuary cities? How do they do it going into sanctuary states? How do they do it when there are ICE Watcher apps out there? How do they do it when their hotels are being ransacked? How do they do it? So it's not enough. They're not deporting enough people, but they're drunk on power, escalating violent situations. So let me ask, how do you deport someone who has refused to self-deport and collect $2,600 in free flights in Pasco?
What a fantastic question. Halo Lore says Jay is funnier and he's not even trying. Absolutely. Absolutely.
How do you collect those people and deport them without it escalating? And then how would you do it so much more that it would be worth it to you, Dave Smith, so that it's significant enough because, Biden let a lot in? This is one of those examples of it's really easy to just be a critic and offer no.
Jay Biggs says his comedy is not cringe. You just don't get it. Jay Biggs, maybe we just disagree. Maybe you're just sensitive that I have an opinion that's different than yours. You can like his comedy and think it's the greatest fucking thing in the world. And I can disagree with that. And if you don't sit when you pee and cry like a bitch, then you can accept that somebody else just has a different fucking opinion than you. Or you can just cry like a woman. Either way, I'm the one getting the super chats right now. So go fuck yourself. Oh, he says, go play video. Oh. Wait a minute. What'd he say? He said, go play video games, kiddo. You just told the guy that created Geeks and Gamers, and he's surrounded by fucking toys, to go play video games like it's a fucking insult? Ha ha ha. Hey, guy that created a fucking company called Geeks and Gamers, go play video games, loser. Now we can see why you find Steven Crowder's comedy funny. Holy fuck, you're retarded. Anyway.
No solutions whatsoever. Again, I'll repeat mine. Let the entire American public know. An address from the White House. Self-deport, you guys have 1 month, $2,600. CBP One app. We are only going to go after, during that month, prisons, actual prisons, and deport every single illegal alien in prison.
I love and hate all of you in the chat because now all of you are just saying things that will trigger me. Like somebody said BVS is a good movie, Interstellar's overrated, all this other shit. That's what the chat does what the chat does. Incoherent name for 50s is one of the worst things about the Bush administration, other than the pointless wars, was giving libertarians legitimacy as an opposition party to neocons. Both suck, and I'm glad that people are waking up to it now that a legitimate opposition party, MAGA populism, exists. And that is the truth of it right there. Like, MAGA is the alternative party. MAGA is that. MAGA is everything that the Libertarian Party wanted to be. And it happened within Trump's first few months of creating MAGA. And MAGA is the Republican Party. It has taken over. Now, the Republican Party still has remnants involved in it and all of that, 1,000%. But MAGA has taken over and reshaped the entire Republican Party. So it's a beautiful thing, actually. John freaking Murdoch says, I used to subscribe to the Mug Club, but now I give that money to you. Okay. Now we're cooking, John. Now we're cooking. That's what I'm talking about. That's actually, that's an honor, actually. So thank you, John. Hail to you. Venom Spitter says, but he's a Rumble shill, unfortunately. To be fair to Crowder, I don't actually hold Crowder. I don't hold his Rumble shilling against him. He was massively censored on YouTube. At the level he was at, the fact that he faced demonetization and all of that, I mean, Rumble was there for him. So I don't really have a problem with him being so committed to Rumble, because Rumble had his back when YouTube, a platform he had millions of subscribers on, basically fucked him over. So I don't have a problem with that. Red Mage for 20 says, something interesting I ran across, and I think it's legit. Stanley Tucci from the looks of his account, supports ICE and Trump and the work they're doing. If it's real, shocking to see a Hollywood person being open about it. Are you sure that it's him? Because anybody can get a blue check mark now on Twitter. So send me I don't know if somebody can look it up and see. That would be shocking to me. Let me see. Hang on. Somebody just said, Jeremy won't say it's the Jews. It's the Jews that dominate your entire fucking existence. They have created every problem in your life. Whoever it was says that. You stump your toe? Oh, it was the Jews. You don't pay your bills on time? Oh, it was the Jews. You beat a woman? You're like, it was the Jews. They're literally every fucking problem in your life. You fucking retard. Red Mage, I got that one. John freaking Murdoch says, damn, I thought you forgot. Got that one. Okay. Back to Crowder.
We'll arrest anyone who obstructs that. After 1 month, we're coming for everybody. And we're arresting anyone who impedes federal officers, including mayors with sanctuary cities and governors with sanctuary states. That's my proposed solution. I don't see a lot of solutions coming from people out there just go, well, it's not enough deportations anyway. Plus, the way they're doing it is dicks. How do you think you deport someone who doesn't want to be here? I don't understand, especially people who are...
This is that fucking utopia bullshit that these people seem to think. Like, they think that Trump is just supposed to snap his fingers and make everything perfect in America. They think that it's not going to get nasty. They don't think it's going to get dirty. They don't think it's going to get uncomfortable in order to get to where we need to be. And it's a very pussified kind of mentality where they're like, I can't believe that ICE is removing families of illegals. You're like, fuck off.
Fathers, what do you do if your child is acting out and you tell them to stop and they say no? How do you deal with that without it escalating? And I don't mean beating them. I mean giving them a timeout, taking a toy away, escalating the consequences. That's how it has to go.
Yeah.
But if you complain that both, not enough is being done, and we can't escalate, what you really mean is you want to be the intellectual on the sidelines who about everything and offers no solutions because I haven't heard them.
No solutions. And also he's misdiagnosing what's going on. These guys aren't running around drunk on power, Dave. They're running around with their heads on a swivel because they're being hunted by people.
Correct.
Now, it may be a nuisance to you, but they don't know when the next brick is going to fly at their head or when a protester is going to show up with a weapon.
I was watching Greg Bovino walking through a Target and all of the shit that they're saying. And I'm thinking to myself, like, dude, I don't know how the guy walks around not paranoid every second. Like, look at that attention that was on him. I mean, this is what these guys are dealing with constantly.
Some of the people who took to social media said that they should do after this shooting. They're out there with no support from local cops. And they're out there with people like the Mayor Fry and also Governor Walz saying, you should get out in the streets. You should impede these guys. You should blow whistles. You should make their lives difficult. You should go out there and be Minnesotans.
Yeah.
That's what's happening, you idiot.
By the way, this is also what happens. The Indiana Pacers guard Tyrese Halliburton wrote that Alex Preddy was murdered. That has 22 million views. I wonder if he posted the obstructing and directing traffic in the streets toward ICE all day. And then Natalie Portman, this is kind of funny because people on the left are saying she's a Zionist, so she can't be trusted. But she delivered this word salad, a little bit more articulate than bananas and rice, but was wearing an ICE out pin. Let's hear this brilliant young lady communicate her thoughts.
You are wearing your ICE out and be good pins today. So I just wanted to see if there's anything that you wanted to say about why you chose to wear those.
Well, this is obviously such a joyful community celebrating film here, and we're so excited to be showing the gallerists here. But we're also at a moment in our country's history that is quite devastating.
Is it?
And I think it's really, it's impossible not to.
I didn't expect you to ask me about my
what
pins.
is happening right now, and the brutality of ICE. And how it has.
These pins. It's convenient that you just asked me about my anti-ICE pins. Well, let me read my prepared statement that I had no idea that you were going to ask me about.
To stop immediately.
Brutality.
And also the
great. So how do we deport people?
Community that Americans are showing right now, showing up for each other, protecting each other,
destroying hotels,
fighting for their freedom. But it's a very, it's a bittersweet moment to celebrate something we're so proud of on a backdrop of our nation really in pain.
Yeah, she's an idiot. But after spending some time on the street,
I will just say, like most women, she's better seen, not heard.
Post-interview, she did develop a different perspective.
Oh, 100% Flash. Absolutely yellow Flash.
I can't see it. I can't touch it. I can't feel it.
That's because they're all high and committing assault. And so I say this because the lie travels so quickly. Where you still have people, my God, who today believe that Kyle Rittenhouse went off shooting black people.
Yes.
Did you know that?
Yes.
A lot of people still believe it. Like millions of people in this country still believe that.
They do. They do.
There'll be millions of people in this country who believe that Preddy was just standing on the sidewalk before he was accosted.
Correct. That's
why I show you that guy from the Pacers. That's why I show you Natalie Portman. And then this person, who is a very popular streamer, Moist Critical, showed a fundamental misunderstanding or lack of education on pretty much every level in addressing the realities.
That is pretty much every Moist Critical take when it's revolving around politics. That is every take from him. It is astonishing how painfully wrong he is, and how much I think that he's proving that he does know what's going on, because he intentionally takes the exact opposite approach to lie to his audience. And so what I mean by him knowing, not that he knows it, like that he agrees with it, but it's like he knows the truth and he intentionally lies about the truth. He gives his audience the exact opposite because that's what his audience wants.
As it relates to illegal immigration. And I'll disabuse you of these notions very quickly afterward.
This point that they're trying to beat into the empty minds of a lot of people that are trying so hard to justify it is that the only people being arrested and targeted by ICE are rapists and pedophiles.
No, we didn't say
aliens, which is just not the case. There definitely
hasn't it been like a massive point of MAGA to say, we want you out regardless if you are a violent criminal or not. If you are illegal, you are out. We don't care. We don't care if you're illegal, you are a criminal. We want you out. We have not specified that we want it to be only violent criminals. That's been the approach of the administration, to say we're going to focus on violent criminals first. But MAGA themselves have been like, we want them all gone.
Have been rapists and pedophiles that have been snatched up in all of this.
Many.
And those rapists and pedophiles that have been caught and taken away, that's good. They shouldn't be out there breathing the free air. Great.
Pause.
But that's not.
Yeah, but the left doesn't say that's good because they protect them and they won't even let us go into the prisons to take out those people. They have sanctuary cities, they have sanctuary states, which precludes any federal law enforcement from taking anyone out. And you have seen protesters blockade and protect sex traffickers, pedophiles, human traffickers. Let's continue.
All that's happening here. You could also right now march into the White House and arrest everyone in the White House, and you would get a ton of rapists and pedophiles. Why isn't that happening? If the goal is getting rapists and pedophiles off of American soil, thrown in the slammer, taking them away from society, why is it only just walking through the streets of Minnesota trying to do it?
It's not
you
only.
would get significantly more rapists and pedophiles if you took ICE and brought them to the White House. And an administration is actively covering up a massive.
Or Hollywood. Just go to the Academy Awards every year. If you really like Moist Critical, if you want to be that retarded about this, you would get far more at the Academy Awards every year than the White House. You get far more. So if you want to play that game, we can play that game. Why don't you bring Hollywood up? The Super Bowl. That's another one. Laughing, man. Exactly.
Child sex trafficking.
Yeah, TwitchCon. The channel you stream on, the platform you stream on every fucking day, Moist Critical.
Operation and letting tons of evil people get away with this, tons of clients. So if the goal is to get this kind of evil out of this country, why would you not start with what is provably a spot that has so many of them? Also, that belief of like a secret pedophile ring was a very popular one among Trump voters for the longest time. And now that it has been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt to be real, legitimate reality, they are now just ignoring it. They have been proven correct that there was a huge pedophile ring of these powerful politicians, but because some of their favorite politicians are potentially wrapped up in it, they just want to drop it and forget about it. Absolutely unhinged, by the way.
Okay, so there's no actual substantiation, no references that he's provided whatsoever for his claims. I don't know if you know this, anywhere from 12 to 20 million illegal aliens under Biden alone. If you were to go through the entire West Wing White House, you'd get a few hundred people, assuming that every single one is a child rapist or pedophile.
It's
so
crazy,
that matters.
dude.
Then we also look at the numbers, okay, of the millions of people who are here illegally, illegal aliens, and I'll provide all the references. They're 1.5 to 5.5 times more likely to be incarcerated than lawful citizens. Now, I know people say, well, aliens or immigrants are more law-abiding. No. You're obfuscating there. You're trying to say that legal immigrants are more law-abiding than people who are born here. That may or may not be true. The truth is it's very difficult to study the numbers as it relates to illegal aliens because we don't know how many there are. We do know, based on the capture rate, based on the processing rate, 1.5 to 5.5 times more likely to be incarcerated than lawful citizens, illegal aliens as a demographic. And to be clear, 100% of people who cross the border illegally, they have committed a crime. Let's also go through this. Hey, here's another reason, because illegal aliens cost the taxpayers $150 billion to $451 billion a year. Again, it's pretty hard to estimate because they don't necessarily sign the guest book on the way in. I know this number very well at the back of my hand because it used to be $118 billion a year when I went through the build the wall, changed my mind. Then you have politicians who are not allowing feds to go into prisons and jails. This is not just a couple of places. It's California, Illinois, Minnesota, New Jersey, New York, Oregon, Washington. Guarantee you, if you just took the rapists, pedophiles, murderers, thieves, violent criminals who are in the prisons and jails in those states and deported them, it would be far more than everyone who works in the West Wing. Again,
what a horrible take from Moist Critical. Like, what an incredibly... Again, but I'm going to tell you why he said what he said. Because his audience was going to eat it up. And he has a massive audience. He has a massive audience. But the reason Moist Critical said that is because his left-wing audience would eat that up. You tell him, Charlie. You tell him. That's right. Get all of those pedophiles out of the White House, including Trump. That's why he said it.
And assuming that all of them are pedophiles and rapists. This is an unintelligent person. This is a person fundamentally incapable of thinking critically, and they are an ideologue. So they're trying to tell you, look, just arrest the pedophiles in the White House. Okay, great. That doesn't solve the problem. That doesn't solve $400 billion a year wasted. That doesn't solve the problem of people living in sanctuary cities. And by the way, legal immigrants who are here, and even some other illegal immigrants, by the way, who are here and still have to live under the rule of violent gangs. We saw that with Aurora. We saw that, by the way, when we were in Austin. We had to blur out a lady's face who was asking me how she could report it to authorities. This idea that these people are all just here seeking a better life and it's a victimless
Bullshit.
crime, it's not true. It's not even true for people who cross this border illegally if they aren't human traffickers, because they are very likely being brought here by human traffickers. For every person you see making a bed, working as a maid, working on your lawn, guess what? There could be 10, 20 more who were good looking enough or perhaps desirable enough that they just were put through that system. They went through the sieve, and you're going to be a human blow up doll now. Usually minors, thousands who disappeared under Biden's watch. Remember that? So you have to decide where you start off with. And invariably, if you ask these people, they actually won't have a solution. Well, sure, it'd be great to get rid of rapists and pedophiles. Great. So you would support arresting any of the governors here who don't let us go into the prisons to get them. Well, I don't know. Well, hold on a second. You said it'd be a good thing to get rid of the criminals. So what do we do with California, Illinois, Minnesota, New Jersey, New York, Oregon, Washington? By the way, California and New York, most populated states. What do we do there? Can't go into the prisons. There are no solutions. These people don't believe in deportations. They don't. They don't believe in actually enforcing our immigration laws. I will give it to you one more time. My proposed solution: address the nation. We're going to give you guys 1 month to get your affairs in order. You can register in the CBP One app, all civil infractions, fines. We're just going to wipe that clean. Here's $2,600. That's what you can get right now. You can do it right now if you're here illegally. Leave, come back through the legal way. We're only going for the prisons. Anyone obstructing, we arrest you, including mayors and governors. After that 1 month, we're going.
Let me show, going back to the moist critic, the retarded moist critical take, because there was something that Crowder said in that right there that made me remember this. This is from a few weeks ago, or actually about a month and a half ago, I think. But I think I covered this at one point in time. But you know, Tim Tebow talking about what is going on in this country with human trafficking. It's absolutely unbelievable. Now, I don't think it's all illegal immigrants that are doing it, but I think there's a lot. And when you hear this information, if you have never heard this information, be prepared to hear the worst thing you've heard, and it will make you feel uncomfortable about the country you are living in, which is United States of America.
Are there wins in the fight? Yes. Every time a girl is brought to safety and there's healing that takes place, that's a win. But in the grand scheme, no, we're not winning. We're losing. And there are many people that would believe that there's more trafficking taking place around the world than ever before in history. Right now, as we speak, there are 50+ million people that are being trafficked. And they think, well, it's just over there, right? It's across the world. It's not happening here. And that's also just not the case. It is happening right here. It is happening in our backyard. It's happening across the country. America is the #1 buyer of live stream rape of boys and girls.
Did you hear what he just said?
It is happening in our backyard. It's happening across the country. America is the #1 buyer of live stream rape of boys and girls. In peer-to-peer trading CSAM, child sexual abuse material, we're 3rd worst in the world. It goes China, Russia, America, and then Italy's 4th. Every single day, 300,000 new sex ads will go up, and thousands of them are minors. And if I was to read some of the quotes of buyers, it would show you how little they think of humanity and how little they think of these girls. And that's honestly a big piece of what broke my heart for Look Again, was that we have to look again at the worth and the value of ourselves and other people. Because right now we face in so many areas around the world, but also right here, the devaluing, the dehumanizing, The treating people as less than is just an object rather than treating them with real dignity, worth, respect, and honor.
As someone who's close to this issue and working to, provide resources and help people and get people out of it, why do you think people in this country have such a hard time discussing this? Like, why is this not on more mainstream platforms?
Well, we're working on that very, very hard. I think it's overwhelming. I think people think, how can we make a difference? I think that there's a lot of people that will say, I don't want to hear, I don't want to hear. I'll give you one example. I was playing in a foundation golf tournament in a state where I was, three other people in my group were three of the most powerful, wealthy people in that state. And I got a call from our VP of anti-human trafficking, and I had to take it. 12 girls, something terrible just happened to them in a location. And so I said, hey, sorry guys, I gotta take this, and we gotta make a plan for this. And so they're overhearing some of the conversation, and I finished the conversation. I miss a few holes with them, which is just, there's no comparison, right? Yep. And I finish and I come back and they're like, hey, what's going on? I start to tell them just a little bit of what I'm allowed to tell them. And they go, no. Don't tell me. I don't want to know. I don't want to know because it makes me think about my kids. And I was already emotional because of what I knew just happened to these 12 girls. And I was frustrated.
Somebody said, who is this guy? That is Tim Tebow, former college football great. And probably, in my opinion, one of the most genuine human beings on the planet. He is a very outspoken Christian. He's got a phenomenal story with his parents. They were missionaries. He's just, in my opinion, he's the greatest college football player ever. And I think that, in my opinion, the NFL ran him out of the league because he was too popular, and he was waking people up to Christianity, and the NFL did not want that. But he is a genuine human being. He really is.
But also, I was probably not speaking out of the most amount of humility and a little bit of pride. And I responded and I said to the man that said that to me, if those girls could hear you right now, what hope do you think they would have? If the most powerful people in our states and in our country are going to say, no, don't tell me, I don't want to know, then how are we actually going to push back this evil that is taking place? And I think that I share that story because that's happened too often. And I'm not saying that everyone has to be exposed to all of it. That's not my goal. We don't want to traumatize people, but we do have to have people be aware of what is taking place so that we can have an army of people that are standing on the line for people, for these kids, for these women that are going through a living hell. And if we're not even willing to look at it and to talk about it, to bring awareness to it so that action can be done, then we're not going to move the needle. And we have to be able to do that. Yep. Like we have to be able to talk about it, strategize, rally people. And there are a lot of people, I want this to be clear, there are a lot of people, heroes that are on the line that we get to work with, law enforcement, so many victim identification specialists. There are so many people that are doing great work in this space, but it's not enough.
So real quick, and can I link to the video? I can drop a link. It's Colin Rugg. You should follow him on Twitter, but this is from January 6th. And I will link the video. And just so for the few people that probably don't know of Tim Tebow, his last game that he started in the NFL, well, the next to last game in the playoffs, this is what happened right here.
He said, Timmy just got the numbers back from the game, and he said during the game, 94 million people Googled John 3:16. Exactly 3 years later, to the date I wore, I was playing for the Denver Broncos, and we were playing the Pittsburgh Steelers in the NFL playoffs. We win in overtime. I still think it's the fastest overtime in NFL history. Right before I walk in this big room packed full of media, there's all these curtains out front, and I'm standing in front, and Patrick, our PR guy, said, Timmy, do you realize what happened? Yeah, we just beat the Steelers. We're going to play the Patriots. He's like, yeah, I know what happened, dude. And he goes, no, do you know what happened. I thought I did. He said, Timmy, it's exactly 3 years from the night that you wore John 3:16 on your eyes. I'm like, that's awesome. And he said, no, you don't realize it. During the game, your yards per rush were 3.16. Your yards per completion were 31.6. The ratings for the night were 31.6. And the time of possession was 31.6. And during the night, over 90 million people have Googled John 3:16. It's the #1 trending thing all over. He said, Timmy.
Insane. He was the biggest name in all of sports. And his message was, you know, Christianity, and he was praying on the field. And I guess if he would have, you know, committed a few crimes and, you know, assaulted a few women, the NFL would have kept him, but whatever. But yes, I will link back to that video for you. I'll drop it in. Oh, there it is right there. Jessica has it. Thank you, Jessica. Appreciate that. So there's the link to the video that you guys were asking for. Back to Crowder.
Going after everybody here illegally, and anyone obstructing, including governors or mayors, you will be arrested. And we will invoke the Insurrection Act, and we will federalize the Guard wherever appropriate. You guys let me know what I'm missing, where I'm getting this wrong.
We do have a couple of other celebrity reactions that we wanted to get to you.
Okay.
So,
are they clips or
it's
tweets?
Just real quick clips, I believe.
Oh, word.
So Edward Norton first.
Oh my gosh, this guy is such a dipshit.
Portation
Edward
X.
Norton.
Okay. Yeah.
Edward Norton. How far he has fallen since his legendary role in American History X. I guess Derek does not exist anymore.
These are not normal times, and it's
Pause. I agree. These are not
like we
normal
have-
times. 15 to 20 million illegal aliens in the span of 4 years. I agree. That's pretty abnormal. Continue, Chinless.
we have, you know, extrajudicial like assaults on Americans and humans going on a daily basis now, and it's not okay. And even though all people kind of have to put one foot in front of the other and deal with the demands of the day, we cannot act like this is not happening. And I think, you know, I think what they're doing in Minnesota with the strike needs to expand. I think we should be talking about a national general economic strike until this is over and stopped. These are not normal times. And
what does that even mean? That's one step above bananas and rice.
It really is. We should go on strike until this is, you mean until everybody's deported? Fantastic.
Okay.
What does these are not normal times. What do you mean by that, Edward Norton? What is a normal time? Can you explain what the fuck that means? These are not normal times. What the fuck does it even mean?
All right. So let me guess. You're assuming we're still going to continue the streaming services?
How about writers going on strike?
Yeah.
How about all the workers?
I love how he says Americans and humans. Well, can we go back to that? What do you mean Americans and humans? Oh, do you mean people who are here illegally? Or then do we find ourselves at the intersect where you say, well, no human being is illegal because you're an idiot and wrong? Right. All right, next
and then,
celebrity.
The next one, I don't know the name.
Will Poulter.
Okay.
Who?
Eyebrow
this guy. Okay.
It's really upsetting to see people forget.
He's a Brit.
You know,
Yeah.
we're a country that we have immigrants
Opinion
to thank for,
discarded.
and I feel the same way about my home country in the UK. And you know, as an actor, I don't want to conflate, you know, my influence or what I'm able to do in order to affect change. But certainly, I try to look at how, you know, I can draw attention to certain things in society to try.
What does change mean? They make these large sweeping statements. They're vague as hell. What does change mean? Because Will, I'm not sure if you know, but we just had change. Trump won. Yeah, we had change. The country did not like the Democrats being in power.
raise awareness or to try and motivate change and activate people. But, you know, I also remain cognizant of the fact that I'm an actor and not an activist. And, you know, I don't do the work that people like Annette Dio do, for example. You know,
sure, and I appreciate that. But here's the thing: you should just say nothing. Also, it's like, you know, to affect change. Okay, affect change how? It's a nice term, isn't it? Affect change. All right. How? What does that change look like? We know what we lived. Open borders. We know what we lived. Record inflation. We know what we lived. Crime wave. So affect change. So now we're deporting people. Now inflation's back under control. Now there's law and order. What change do you want to see?
Like, these actors, I never feel sorry for an actor that gets baited into a stupid question. You cannot answer the question if you want. But if you're stupid enough to answer it, then you deserve to be held accountable for the stupidity that came out of your mouth. Do you remember the Tom Hardy interview? Remember when that LGBTQ reporter asked Tom Hardy about his sexuality right here? You remember this? Tom Hardy responds to question by gay activist about his sexuality. Here we go.
And we're an LGBT news organization. And our question is for Tom Hardy. In the film, your character Ronnie is very open about his sexuality, but given interviews you've done in the past, your own sexuality seems a bit more ambiguous. Do you find it hard for celebrities to talk to media about their sexuality?
What on earth are you on about?
I was referring to an interview given to Attitude magazine a few years ago.
But what is your question?
I was wondering if you find it difficult for celebrities to talk about their sexuality.
I don't find it difficult for celebrities to talk about their sexuality. Are you asking me about my sexuality?
Sure.
Why?
Why?
Thank you.
Okay.
Boom. Why? Thank you. Just sit down and shut up. That's the perfect response right there. That's it. Like that. You don't have to answer these idiots' questions. You don't have to. If you choose to, you should be held accountable.
You don't want to see people deported. Okay, so what do you want to see? The end game is path to citizenship and a new voting base. You guys understand that, right? There's no alternative offered from the left. There really isn't. They'll say there's a better way to do it. Okay, how? I don't think there's a better or more humane way to do it than go on the app. Civil penalties will largely be ignored. Free flight, $2,600, and you're treated the same as everyone else coming into this country. Go through the legal process. Can anyone let me know, is there a more humane way than that? I can't think. I think it's, as a matter of fact, overly generous.
It is.
Certainly more generous than what you've seen in other countries. After that, how do we get the ones who not only have come here illegally, but once notified, have decided to disregard the law again and are not self-deporting? And let's be honest, I know what everyone's going to say, like, well, they're afraid. I don't give a shit. I'm sorry, I don't care. And I get why they're afraid. Most of them shouldn't be here. These aren't Rhodes Scholars. These are people who are coming here to take jobs from Americans and to work under the table. And they enjoy these benefits tax-free, many of them. They take advantage of our systems in place. And they know that they probably wouldn't be granted entry because they're not qualified to. And then they would be expected to do what every single human being has had to do since the beginning of time, which is improve their living conditions in their own country. You know, the ones they're so proud of that they wave that flag while they're here on our soil. Anyone have a more humane way than the self-deportation? I can't think of one. It's incumbent upon you to offer a solution. Otherwise, we're going to do what needs to be done and how it's always been done historically.
I agree with everything Crowder has said right here in terms of the approach. And his response to all of this was pretty much perfect. So well done from Steven Crowder. We got this right here. DHS confirms ICE agents will conduct enforcement operations around the Super Bowl, calling it standard security for major events. that is from Fox News or Fox, that's going to cause a lot of meltdowns. That's going to cause a lot of freaking meltdowns. And they're trying to downplay it, saying it's standard security for major events because they don't want people crying. Also, President Trump is headed to Clive, Iowa tomorrow for a 3 p.m. event. So Trump's last Iowa event was electric. So here we go.
We're going to have great pride. I think we do have great pride. I think we have more pride and more spirit in our country right now than we've had in 50 years.
So I will try to cover that tomorrow. I will try to cover it tomorrow. So that should be good right there. All right, where are we at here? Red Mage says, I'm having problems DMing for some reason. It's just his name in lowercase with 3 underscores, and I'm not sure what the star with the circle means on X. It sounds like it's not him based on what you're saying there. My mods have probably sent it to me, so I'll see if I can look. Briggs for 20 says, love you, man. Thanks for being the voice of reason and common sense. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Where are we at? Joe Bit says, milk are all special forms of milk. Well, thank you for that. Vault 199 Gaming says, Tim said Trump's old and should go away 2021 to 2023. He did say that. ACC says, I'm invoking the whatever act. Can I pull it off? I'm sure you can. Incoherent Name says, if you ask me, ICE is doing a pretty good job. Ice Cold J199 says, it looks like, I look at it like this. Bovino is the squad leader. Tom Holman is like a general. Packy Proton says, Andrew might have something for something Miss Cobra Cast doesn't discount him yet. Obviously, just kidding. Master Smith says, let's see what happens. Hasn't Trump earned that? In my mind, he has, but a lot of people, they don't have the patience for that. Colonel Flum says, Laken Riley was going to school to be a nurse. Fuck these people. Agreed. Josie says, these pro sports teams are pathetic. At this point, you're totally gay if you still watch pro sports. Hey, I still watch it. That's a sports channel. Becky Proton says, was Pink Hat Guy in Dragon Ball Z what saga? Daniel Moore says, sorry for missing the last stream. An old friend of mine died at 23. I went to see his body today to sympathize with his parents. That's crazy. 23 years old. That's a true tragedy right there. Sorry to hear that. Andrew Sarah says, bro posted that video and said to himself, hell yeah, cringe. Lydia Mexican says, do you honestly think Trump was nice to Walz in his phone conversation? Him sitting home and tells you all you need to know. Hashtag fire Bondi. Kubrick Banner says, the guy from Mythbusters got really angry all of a sudden. Packet Proton says, waiting for one of those idiots to swallow one of those whistles. 8 o'clock says, loving neighbors in quotation marks. Cosmic Cowboy says, do you think how Trump's handling of Minnesota is weak? Should he be more aggressive, or is he worried about optics? It's all crazy right now. I mean, I wish Trump was a little more aggressive for sure, but at the same time, man, like, you know, he's gonna play it to the best visibility. So, you know, I think he's earned enough trust, at least from, you know, the majority of his base anyway. We got Chris Whiting for $39 and says, no idea what's happening. Love you, bro. Look at that, man. $39. Says he's got no idea, but he loves Cobra Cast. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it, brother. Let me go back here. John Orchard says, you said her name. I must give you money. You grifter. I salute you. See you at MegaCon this year. I might become a member. Hey, MegaCon is soon, Saturday. I hope to get confirmation, but it looks like the panel's going to be happening on Saturday. Hopefully around 11, 12-ish, 1, shooting for that. That's what we're trying to get the panel set for. And then the meetup will be happening that night at 7 p.m.-ish, City Walk. It's going to be amazing. Critical Drinker is going to be here. Gary's going to be here. Rip is going to be here. Yellow Flash is going to be here. Ryan's going to be here. Jay's going to be here. Krista, Steph, everybody's going to be here. Beardo. You got everybody. It's going to be awesome. So, John said, I got that. Rob says, I think the feds are doing a pretty good job in Minnesota. Daniel Moore says, Eric Doherty, holy crap tax. Daniel Moore says, heartbreaking. Hassan Piker was found alive in his home. Gerard Armstrong says, Timcast IRL's tonight is, Timcast IRL's title for tonight, it's over. Yeah, I don't know what angle Tim is working right now. I have no idea. Samurai says, a press secretary said Trump's offer to Walz involved emptying the jails for deportation and Minnesota cops to assist with ICE this morning. So if Homan is there, that's a win. Andrew Sierra says, stroke tax. Scottish Badger becomes a new member. Thank you. Bar King says, I'd say those ICE agents' aim is pretty good. Packy Proton says, Facebook seems to think that someone named Amy Bach was the start of the Somali. So apparently Somalis are innocent. Hear anything about this lady? No. And I have learned that like getting on Facebook and trying to get any honest information, I can't believe the amount of fake news on Facebook is just absolutely crazy. Packy Proton says, start of the Somali scandal, character edit. Wizard Man says, standard dosage of aspirin is 325 milligrams. It's 1 tablet. TVZTQ says, breaking, G.I. Joe was originally Action Force. John Jones says, I used to enjoy Legal Eagle for his legal analysis of movies and TV series until he became dedicated to TDS channel. Many such cases. You are correct about that, sir. TDS broke many, many people. Scissor says, as a former mailman, they 100% need firearms. There were folks in my station who were nearly unalived over the mail and packages. It's dangerous work. I agree. John Jones says, Tim Lake. All this horror business is Legal Eagle is too stupid to film inside. Obi-Wan Cannoli says, shout out to the mainstream media for having us forget about the $9 billion in fraud. Walz still isn't arrested. It's only been a few weeks. Thought it was going to be longer. Old Dragon Soul says, they fucked around. They found out. Trump, woohoo. Incoherent Name says, if Trump had a stroke, that means he healed within hours since he is on camera every day. The man is truly superhuman. Yeah, like them doing that just makes Trump sound cooler. If they're building this narrative that Trump had a stroke and then he basically recovered the next day to get in front of the cameras, they're only making him sound cooler. This is what they do. They just make Trump sound cool as hell all the time. It's the dumbest shit ever. Trent says, breaking, Jeremy is gay and retarded. Love you, brother. Daniel Moore says, I'd like to see what you think of Irish comedy. Have you ever watched Father Ted? Those clips are on YouTube. I haven't seen those, I don't think. Wizard Man says, Jeremy, the Odyssey is going to suck. I made a video on that. So we'll see. PS1 Jersey Devil says, I hit 10,000 subscribers yesterday on my channel. Congratulations, man. That's a huge milestone. Congratulations. Nate the Great says, hey, Jeremy, good evening. Your Super Bowl takes 199. Ooh, I think the Seahawks are going to win, and I would rather the Patriots win, but I think the Seahawks are going to win. I think the Seahawks are just a better team. I really do. So I think the Seahawks are going to win. Yellow Flash with the still wood. Samurai says, Jay, you got to see Tim's video today. He's popping now. I'm going to have to watch him. I'm not going to react to him, but I'll watch him. Your Army says, deport Moist and give him Sauron's stature. He don't deserve it. Nate the Great says, Charlie has fell off lately. Yikes. Mad Frog says, the left, the institutions are filled with PDF. Also, the left, Pizzagate is a far-right conspiracy theory. They only believe what is convenient. Joey says, hey, Jeremy, hey, Jeremy, you should check out Bill O'Reilly coverage on this tonight. I tune into Bill O'Reilly occasionally. Dave Chandler says, keep in mind, Natalie Portman went to Ivy League schools, but she's a moron. It's really a shame. She and millions of people like her are ignorant. Sad but true. Packy Proton says, please arrest our cheating New Jersey governor, who, by the way, has never lived in New Jersey before. Never. Interesting. Defending Truth says, if you die protesting ICE, do you get 72 trans women? Orange Gaunt says 30 minutes for the rest of our lives. Tim Tebow. Forest Beyond the Tree said, does someone really tell you to go jerk your joystick off with a gaming session? Seriously, what are we doing? I know. Like, yeah, I do. I actually want to play some video games. Not tonight. I got to make videos, unfortunately. Disinfected Scientist says, Moist was acted like a good guy after $300 million. Master Smith says, I think you're homosexual. That's all. Epically Eddie says, wasn't sure you talked about it or not, but did you see the agent who got his fingertip bit off by one of the nut jobs? Briefly, the other day we talked about it. Nate the Great says, just wanting to say hi to all of you. God bless. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Zwani says, well, Jeremy, looks like we have made the 3-month mark. I am once again questioning my life decisions. Hail Unit 199. Mod Lives Matter. Chat Lives Matter. Again, nubbin with the proper 199 to start out the show. That's what I'm talking about. Hangry is angry. Says, wall off the city and remove all the federal funding and make mandatory curfew and martial law. Steel Lake of History says, I want to give you an update on my brother, Raymond. He's out of danger and is stable now and getting better with the hospital. Hey, man, prayers up for you, brother. Good to hear that. Tay says, what's up, D-Day Cobra? Scanning in. Happy Jessica. Hail Unit 199. Christian Rocker says, hopped in late. What did I miss? Also, go Hawks. Not a whole lot. It's been a pretty boring show. No, there's been a lot, actually. Arclight says, 2 years LFG. Hell yeah, man. Steven Strange says, I noticed a lot of the leftist bigs are trying to spin Trump's win as they win for Tampon Tim. Resist the urge to think that this was not a win for Trump. This will allow Trump to draw down personnel. And then Tampon Tim caved. Minnesota police will start supporting ICE. This will all draw down. Trump won. Dixon says, my wife said, get off Trump's dick, Jeremy. Johnny the Wizkid says, where will the meetup be at MegaCon this year? I don't know if I'll come this year, but if I do, it'll be at City Walk, and it will be less noisy than last year. I haven't given the location on City Walk yet, but I will very soon. Fantastic Knox says, so there's a tweet by the AF Post saying Trump had a very good call with Jacob Fry to reduce the number of feds in the city. First, we get strong worded letter to Walz. Now this. I think that there's a lot more nuance to it than that. Was I frozen? Was I frozen? Am I frozen still? Hello? Were y'all just memeing on me? Honestly, you should never tell me when I'm frozen. You should always meme the fuck out of me. Those are the rules. I didn't make it up. Frozen picking your nose. Should I pick my nose for the hell of it? All right, we're good now. All right, we're good. Audio never dropped, but camera froze. Okay, noted. Well, we are at the end of tonight's episode. I was wanting to do 2 shows tonight, but I just had too much going on, and I got to record videos tonight for Geeks and Gamers. Hot Dice says, remember when Trump punched through the glass and wrestled Secret Service to go to J6? He's basically Jason's statement. We all remember that. So, but yeah, a good show tonight. Thank you all. Please go make videos, says Jessica. You froze in your nose, actually. Of course I did. Laughing Man says, hear me out. Need to use AI to make a song based off Green Day when I come around, but lyrics changed to fuck around, find out, D-Day Cobra. Not a bad idea, Laughing Man. You don't make videos for Geeks and Gamers, remember? I know. I'm having fun making videos, though. We're gaining subs again. It's actually nice. So, but thank you guys so much. Great show as always. We'll be back. Looks like I'll be covering this event tomorrow. That's why I left up on the screen. So it looks like we're going to cover this event. So make sure that you like the video and comment after the fact, of course. Mass Marvel says, Jeremy, noun, proper name, a masculine given name to Hebrew origin, meaning appointed by God or homosexual. All right, guys, thank you so much. Have a good night, and we will talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone.